The worst experience I had was when I was 8 years old. Torture me for about 2 hours.
Torture?
Yeah,
What
so
kind
they were
of
just
torture?
like just beating me up. And they went, well, how did you get out? I said, oh, when they set it on fire, I managed to escape. So that was my fire story.
Holy sh!
Being exposed to violence at a really young age, and that set sort of values in me. Which
What
some
kind of
people
violence?
So there's some things I don't want to share in the light of day, and so I think that the worst experience I had was when I was 8 years old, and I just started at a new school, and it's about a mile and a half walk back near Woodland, and we'll talk about the Woodland later, which is on a more happier note. And I was walking home, and a nice warm September day, and 8 years old, and I was walking, and these two guys were there, two older boys who had just been released from young offenders from juvie, and the one was roughly about 6 years older than me, and then the other one was about the same age as him, so they would have been like 14, 15 years old, and I was always quite small and thin, and they were like, "Hey, what you doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And then one of them just hit me around the head with a branch, hit me to the ground, and then they went on to sort of torture me for about 2 hours.
Torture?
Yeah,
What
so
kind
they were
of
just
torture?
like just beating me up. Like one of them would be sitting on my chest, and like one of them like took some dog shit and smeared it on my face, and like lit like cigarettes on me and stuff, and
Damn.
and give me a kicking. And then I think the worst thing what the did is like I had a packed lunchbox, and I didn't see them do, but they put loads of dog shit inside my packed lunchbox and then sealed it back up. So I didn't see that till later on when I was at home, and that was the thing that I thought was quite that got to me. And then I ran home eventually, and my stepdad at the time went out and sort of had a talk and look for them, and my mother did as well. And I was obviously distressed, and they were distressed, and I think that was my first, even though I'd been beat up and set on fire and stuff like that before.
Hold on. Set on fire?
Or not set on fire. So
Is that a figure of speech?
No, not literally set on fire, but it's how I escaped. I'll tell you about that bit in a moment. But that to me was like pure evil that I witnessed. I thought, and then but here's the interesting thing: even at a young age, I was thankful. You know what I was thankful for? I was thankful if that was me, because I can take that. That was me. And I'm certain, and that's one of the biggest reasons I'm glad for. If it wasn't me that day, they had the taste of blood in their mouth. It would have been someone else. And if I'd been an 8-year-old girl, they would have raped me. I know that. I could see that. And so that was the part for me was like I'm glad it was me, because I can deal with that. And yeah. Where
Did you know these guys?
I knew of one of them, and then I actually met one of them later on in life, and I turned the tables a little bit. And some people say it's not good what I did, but I gave him a kick in, and he begged for his life. He didn't know who I was.
How long ago? Or what's the time frame here?
That would have been probably about 13, 14 years later.
No shit.
And I recognise that. Pure
So
scumbag, riding a BMX with
21 years old.
tracksuit bottoms tucked into his socks, like at night, running, and my eyes just straight away locked on like a missile lock. I know who that is. First time I'd seen him since. I know who that is. And as he rode past, I grabbed him by the neck, and then issued out some tough justice. So
Good for you.
and then.
How did that feel? Did you feel good afterwards, or did you regret it?
I didn't regret it. No. I mean, it's maybe not a good message to put out to people, but sometimes you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta put on that armor. And
Did they know who you were?
No,
Did you let them know who you were?
No.
What did you say?
nothing.
Nothing.
No,
What did they say?
like the normal stuff. What someone's begging for their life says. So
What is the normal stuff?
please stop whatever I've done. Stop and just so everyone's on, there was no mistaken identity. It was him. But
Right on. Let's move on.
yeah. But the fire thing, a few years before that, when I was about 4 or 5, I used to try and hang around with the older kids in my estate, and sometimes I'd be like a pain in the neck to them. So they, again, I don't think it's evil. It's just, sometimes kids can be brutal. So these were much older than me. They were like these would have been teenagers as well when I was about 4 or 5 years old. And there's 2 incidents. One was when I walked into the woods, and the woods was, I lived next to a set of woods, and it was just a small burn, but it was known as my woods because I knew it from an early age. I used to go there by myself, and up until just before the army, I'd know it like the back of my hands, and yeah, I loved it. I still walk through it now when I go to my hometown and think of these things, and the guys were playing with an air rifle, and I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And one of them turned and with a big smirk just shot me in the leg and I was about 4 years old, in the thigh, and I was screaming, howling, thinking, "Why did you do that?" The other one, who always seemed to be nicer than the others, took the air rifle off me, and I thought, "Oh, good, he's going to step in," and then he shot me, and he took it and then laughed and shot me in the other leg. I think then they realised what they'd done, and then they tried to smooth it over, and I've still got 2 scars on my leg. When my legs get suntanned, which isn't often, you can see the 2 white marks here and here.
Oh, good.
On my legs. So there's things like that. But then so another story, and this came out when I was on operations. A whole load of the guys were talking about things that make them scared, and they said, "I'd hate to be put in like a bag." And I said, "Oh, I've been tied in a bag before." And they went, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, when I was younger, they were playing Batman and Robin." I turned up and said, "What are they doing?" "They're playing Batman and Robin, and you're going to be one of the bad guys." So they had a potato sack, and he stuffed me in this potato sack and tied a knot in the top. And then they started kicking the potato sack round and beating me. And the guys are looking at me going, "What?" And they went, "Well, how did you get out?" I said, "Oh, when they set it on fire, I managed to escape." So that was my fire story.
Holy shit. So you were bullied quite a bit as a kid.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and this is the thing. Isn't like honestly, I was just about to say there. Was I bullied? Because when you normalize chaos, you normalize violence, and so they're the most. They're not the most graphic things that ever happened to me, but as I've said to someone very close to me, I said, that's the other things that are the worst. They stay in here. And I don't think they deserve to see the light of day. But
why are you're pretty closed up. You keep a lot of stuff internalized, it sounds like. Why do you do that?
I think it's because I've been betrayed all my life. And
who is the most important person that's betrayed you?
Oh,
I mean, we know your government.
Yeah,
it's pretty much.
I mean,
betrayed you.
that was the answer I was going to say, but I think it's just people.
If your parents, women,
wives. I mean, a bit of women, parents. Everyone's got their own heartache, if you like, and then sometimes
one of the things about this show, Christian, is sharing experiences because people learn from that.
Yeah,
and it helps them get through the trauma. And so for somebody like you to be sitting here who's experienced that kind of stuff and overcome it, when you share those experiences, that sends a wave into the world.
Mm-hmm. Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.